I've seen a bunch of people chirping in the comments section saying, Chase, why do you keep talking about Ben Simmons? Chase, stop talking about these Ben Simmons trade rumors. Well, it is one of the biggest storylines across the entire NBA, and maybe we can solve all of this if Daryl Morey sees this video. If you want Ben Simmons traded, Philly, hit that thumbs up icon and like the video. You're watching Philadelphia 76ers Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Chase Sr. And yes, once again, we're talking about Ben Simmons because this standoff between him and the organization is getting more and more real with NBA training camp set to tip off on September 28th. And we've been talking about this potential standoff happening at some point. It's getting real because Adrian Wojnarowski is tweeting about it and reporting about it. He sent these tweets out on Twitter this morning on Tuesday. ESPN sources, Philadelphia 76ers All-Star Ben Simmons will not report for the opening of training camp next week and intends to never play another game for the franchise. Yeah, did I mention it's getting real? Simmons hasn't spoken to the team since a late August meeting when he communicated this message to Sixers officials. Woj also said this, Simmons is clearly aware of sanctions available to the organization to fine and suspend him, including withholding of salary. But so far, Simmons appears willing to carry out a plan of forcing his way to a new team in the NBA. The Sixers have yet to find a trade that they're willing to make for Ben Simmons. And then Woj put out basically an extended report on all of this standoff between Simmons and the organization, saying this is setting up a showdown for a Sixers franchise with championship hopes that will be greatly diminished without Simmons on the floor, balancing the likely short-term losses with him sidelined against the long-term goals of getting a maximum trade return for Ben Simmons. At Simmons' request, the Sixers have discussed trades throughout the league since the end of the playoffs, but they were disappointed in the offers and decided to hold on to him with hopes he would start the season and improve his trade value with his performance. Sixers president of basketball operations Daryl Morey and coach Doc Rivers have told Ben Simmons that they want him in training camp and on the floor to partner with all-star center Joel Embiid, something that Simmons has told them he no longer wants to do, sources said. So basically, this has been happening over the course of months, and it really all started, this fractured relationship last year with that playoff out against the Atlanta Hawks when Ben Simmons was really, really bad. And whichever team does trade for Ben Simmons, they're going to get a very good player who is going to be under team control and under contract for the next 4 years, to the tune of 4 years, $170 million. I think Ben Simmons has a lot of value, even with the current construct of that deal, because he does do so many things well. I just don't think that that contract is going to be in Philadelphia, because Ben Simmons seems to be very firm in wanting out. And I agree with him, and I agree with the organization wanting to move on with him, because this relationship seems to be so contentious to the point where Ben Simmons is willing to lose money to not report to training camp, which starts next week, and the regular season starting off in mid-October. So are you tired of these Ben Simmons trade rumors? This is your opportunity to sound off in the comments section. Type Y for yes, type N for no. I've seen so many people in shambles in the comments section saying, Chase, all you do is talk about Ben Simmons. Well, when a marquee superstar wants out and is willing to give up salary in order for him to get traded, and this is one of the biggest storylines across the entire league, we're going to talk about it here. It's not as if this is fake news. This is real news, especially when Woj is reporting on it. Now, before we dive deeper into these Ben Simmons trade rumors and all of this new reporting coming from Woj, shout out to today's sponsor, BetUS, our sportsbook partner. They have the best deal going of any sportsbook out there. Here's the deal. If you go to chatsports.com/EaglesBet and enter the promo code EAGLES125, you get a 125% deposit bonus. What that means is when you put $100 into your account using that link in that promo code, you get an additional $125 back. That's $225 to wager with. And we have a custom link and promo code for all of our Birds fans out there. And it's hate week because the Eagles are going down to Dallas to take on the Cowboys in a pivotal NFC East matchup. Both teams even with their records at 1-1. Birds going into this game as 4-point underdogs. The over-under 51.5, so the odds makers expecting a little bit of a shootout. I kind of like the Eagles as underdogs. I thought they played better than what the scoreboard had indicated at home in that home opener at Lincoln Financial Field against the San Francisco 49ers. They left like 13 to 17 points on the field, and you can never count on the Cowboys to come through in a clutch situation. So if you want to gas the Eagles as 4-point underdogs, we know Philly is the city of underdogs. You can do so using that link in your promo code. One more time, chatsports.com/EaglesBet. Enter the promo code Eagles125. If you have any questions about this, hit me up on Twitter and Instagram at Chase_Senior. It's the same handle for both. From Ben Simmons trade rumors to John Wall trade rumors, he and the organization down in Houston have come to an agreement that it's not smart, not wise for the Rockets to move forward with John Wall on this roster, but also it's not smart for John Wall to continue on with Houston. And there's been a lot of reporting about a potential trade that would send Ben Simmons to the Rockets in exchange for John Wall. You take a look at what Wall did last year, coming off that torn Achilles and a couple of other injury-shortened seasons. I thought he was pretty good. John Wall is always a player who's been able to score the basketball and dish it. He's just not the most efficient offensive player out there. Field goal percentage last year hovering around 40%. He's also never been the best knockdown three-point shooter either. Those numbers below 32% last year with a lot of volume there. Now, the Houston Rockets were asking John Wall to do a lot offensively, and I thought he did perform well coming off those catastrophic injuries. He was pretty solid last year for Houston. I just always worry about a 1 or 2 guard not being relied upon night in and night out to be a consistent presence. Now, do I think that John Wall's fit next to Joel Embiid's might be better than the Ben Simmons-Joel Embiid fit? I do. I just worry about Wall's efficiency as well as him just being a consistent force and those injury issues. And Kendrick Perkins is with me about this John Wall, Joel Embiid tandem. He did say this recently: I don't know what's going on with the Ben Simmons situation, but I think John Wall in Philly with Joel Embiid is better than Ben Simmons in Philly with Joel Embiid because John Wall is actually going to take those shots and be aggressive. John Wall is not going to be afraid to go to the free throw line. You know who was afraid to go to the free throw line in that second round series against the Hawks? It was Ben Simmons. And this relationship appears to be over between Simmons and Philly because of that disastrous showing in the second round against the Hawks. If Simmons played better and maybe if Doc Rivers adjusted on the fly a little bit better, I think you're looking at a Sixers team that makes it to the Eastern Conference Finals. And if they do so, I thought they would have matched up really well against the Milwaukee Bucks. And the Sixers squandered an excellent opportunity to make it to at least the Eastern Conference Finals, possibly the NBA Finals. And Ben Simmons is a major kind of person to blame for those shortcomings. Those averages against the Hawks simply not good enough. The free throw percentage was around 33%. He averaged less than 10 points per game. We know all about him passing up that dunk late in Game 7. The pass to Matisse Thybulle with Gallinari on his back. Absolutely brutal. Ben Simmons is paid like a superstar, and when you're a superstar and a 3-time All-Star and an All-NBA caliber defender, you can't be averaging less than 10 points per game, 6+ rebounds, and 8.5 dimes while shooting 33% from the free throw line. And it was that series with Doc Rivers and Joel Embiid throwing Ben Simmons under the bus that has led to this situation that we're talking about now. There have been all of these rumors kind of simmering for a long time of Simmons no longer being with the Sixers, and that writing now being on the wall because of that second round series against the Hawks. Now, as far as John Wall, he scares me a lot for a couple of reasons on the Sixers roster because of the injuries, because of the lack of efficiency and consistency on the offensive end of the floor. He also has one of the worst contracts across the entire NBA, 2 more years, $91+ million, so he's more expensive than Ben Simmons and doesn't give you the defensive upside that Simmons does. Offensively, though, the fit next to Joel Embiid could be a lot better. So if it gets to the point where the Sixers and Daryl Morey can't find a trade partner out there, and they want to resort to at least bringing in an all-star player back for Simmons, maybe John Wall is going to be the answer. But boy, a couple of years ago, if you would have told me that the only deal out there was Simmons for Wall, I would have told you that you were crazy, and I would have said, you know what? That's not good for the future of this 76ers organization. It looks as though that could be one of the only deals out there. So before we get out of here, this is a question I do want to pose to you. Grade the value of John Wall for Ben Simmons if that trade does come to reality. A, B, C, D, or F. Basically meaning, if you get John Wall back for Simmons, grade the trade A, B, C, D, or F. I think it's like a B-, a C+. Get your votes in down below. And once again, subscribe to the channel because NBA training camp starts next week. NBA regular season only a few weeks away. We'll be breaking down all of the best Sixers news and rumors right here on YouTube.